Hey, what's going on, Banger TV? It's me, Connor. I am back for another Overkill review, Banger TV's weekly metal review show. This week, I am reviewing Bay Area psych-prog wizards and their first record in 8 years. What we just heard was Burning Daylight Part 2. It is one of my favorite tunes on Mondo Drag's newest record titled Through the Hourglass, which is out now on Riding Easy Records. Mondo Drag are psych-prog rockers from the San Francisco Bay Area, starting out in 2008. They had a CD then, and a lot of the songs on that CD were also on their, debut record called New Rituals in 2010. It's sort of a fine line, even on their website, it sort of shows nothing about the CD, so maybe we won't even mention the CD, but there was a CD. So on that CD, it had songs from New Ritual, and then shortly after that, they released the self-titled album, Mondo Drag, that was on Cosmic Artifacts. And very shortly after, Mondo Drag signed with Riding Easy Records and they re-released that self-titled record. And then in 2016 came The Occultation of Light. So following all of those releases, these guys have done extensive touring. There was a hiatus, there were some member changes, and now we have this new album, Through the Hourglass. So let's see if this stacks up and compares to some of their older records. I love this record, and I love the authentic sound that Mondo Drag is really bringing to the table here. So how about we talk about that authentic sound? We got so many people in the scene, trying to recreate this whole 70s hard rock vibe, but it's slim to none that some of these bands actually master this whole sound. And I think Mondo Drag has done that sound from the very beginning. And this record in particular, I find really dabbles more into the psych and to the prog. I find some of their older records aren't as proggy as this one. This one is very prog, pretty crazy. A stoner doom guy now reviewing sort of a psych prog record. Holy moly, right? I know. But bear with me here. This record is actually really great. So with this authentic sound, these guys are really dabbling with more of that whole synth vibe to it. And it's cool. Something else that I find really special about this record is these guys are really taking the lyrics and the sound a bit more personally from their past two records. Or I guess their past three records. Their past three records were more of like the sonic sounds of the space, and the lyrics weren't really meaningful, but I find this record and the authentic sound is a bit more meaningful than some of their past records.
Looking out my window, there's no sun today, just a sea of clouds, radically up, taking me away. Face pressed against the glass now, I see through the pain.
There's a couple songs on this record where I was turning it on and I totally thought it was from the 70s. And even my partner, she thought the same thing. I actually couldn't believe it. She was like, oh, when did this record come out? Like 1971? I was like, no, this is coming out now. It's out now. It's that crazy of a sound that, you hear it and you're like, oh, wow. Like it sounds old, but I haven't heard it before. And that's what these guys are doing. They're really bringing back that authentic sound that sounds old, but it's new. With this authentic sound, you need very catchy and amazing riffs. And that's this point. These catchy and amazing riffs are crazy. They're like completely mind-bending. Dude, check out this riff from Passages. see what I mean there? These riffs are genuine and from the heart. They're unbelievable. And you know what? There's also these crazy synth solos on Burning Daylight Part 1. Check this out. Between the crazy riffs of the synth, I don't know if you could say a synth is riff, but hey, let's let the riff synth or the synth riff. Ah, a little tongue twister there for you, eh?
The lights flickering, like in the background.
The sounds of this record are coming from my mind into the electrical system and coming out of these lights. That's how much this record is like coming into this room right now. But overall, this record does have amazing, amazing catchy hooks, catchy riffs. Every single instrument on here, just you can really nod off and, you know, close your eyes and think about the drums. And you're like, oh, let's think about that catchy synth. And it's like, oh, let's think about that catchy bass and the guitar. Everything about this is like, man, it just sort of puts you in a really crazy trance, and you realize that after such a long hiatus of like over 8 years, these guys still are bringing it to the table and they're still able to deliver as they did years ago. All right, you like diehard prog and psych heads, I'm ready for you to like find my address, tie me to a chair, and say, Connor, what the heck are you talking about? But I'm saying it anyway. All right, Passages is the longest song on the album. It's ranging at 11 minutes long, and it's a very like instrumental heavy song. It's like there's no singing whatsoever, but the first 3 minutes of that record are just like cool synth stuff. Don't get me wrong, that stuff is really cool, but man, cut it. I think it's sort of a waste of space, you know? Like the first 3 minutes are sort of, you know, that synthy sound, and then the last 3 minutes are synthy sounds. So that's 6 minutes. Prog heads, I get it. It's part of the whole thing, about the whole psych sound, but man, we could have added another song if we cut a little bit of the beginning and a little bit of the end of Passages. Which, you know, I mentioned before that it has great riffs and stuff on it. Like, you know, check this out. So this record, you know, it really comes from the heart, and there's a great thing from the PR here. I'm gonna read it. You know, if you want, so one of the members, the main member's name is John. The dude who's editing this, we did a great job before. If you could put John's face over here and then have my mouth moving. It was a dark chapter, he recalls. I was going through a lot of stuff personally. There's been a lot of death, loss of family members, and grief. Plus the band was inactive. It felt like time was slipping away from me. I felt like I was wasting my opportunities. I felt like I wasn't participating in my story as much as I could have. So you see what I mean here? Oh, cut the face out. No, we don't need that. It's me again. Hello. That says a lot to me personally, you know, and I find that really involving a lot of personal stuff in your lyrics really makes the listener want to listen to your music more and relate more to your music. And I find the lyrics on this are very personal, and you can really relate to some of the stuff on here. Like, play this clip from Run, you know, one of my favorite songs on here. Check this out.
Horses running through the night, running from the morning light.
You know, that's like really great. And then even the lyrics on the song Through the Hourglass, like check this out.
Waking in the morning beneath the shadows of my mind, pulling back the curtains, clear the clouds behind my eyes.
what I mean? These lyrics are like really speaking to everyone, and they're very relatable, and that's why I really like this. The first time Mondo Drag has ever done that. You know, as stated before, Mondo Drag was really singing about space and, you know, the sonic of sounds and planets and whatnot, and this just really hits the feels, and it's more personal, and I think it's more relatable because they did that. I guess we're more than halfway through this, and we got one last point here. This album is 6 songs. You've been not a band for like over 8 years on this hiatus, and you bring us 6 really great songs. Why isn't it longer? You know, I was sort of expecting when this album came out that it would have been a double LP, like fucking 50 minutes long. I just wanted this album to be way longer, and I felt like it was really missing something. You know, like think about the comment I made before about the dead space on the passages on the first 3 minutes and the last 3 minutes. Cut that out, put another song on there. I felt like there was so much room to add more to this record, and I feel like maybe we're gonna get a new record soon, or maybe we're gonna wait another 8 years for a new record, but it sort of bums me out that this record is only 6 songs long. You know, overall, I think this Mondo Drag record is one of the best Mondo Drag's records ever. You know, it's definitely going to be on a lot of people's end of year lists, maybe top 10, top 20. It will for sure be in my top 10, and I am giving this 4.3 like really nice waves on a beach, because this album really makes me want to lie on a beach and, you know, get a little trippy, right? So maybe it could be like, you know, 4.3 Connors like in a lawn chair, hanging out, like, you know, I got a margarita in one hand and maybe a jazz cigarette in the other, you know, lying down, beach, you know, something like that. All right, this is like one of my favorite times of here. This is the first time I'm ever doing a 3-band shout out. And dude editing this, I'm calling on you, man. You're in the hot seat this time. All right. Black Throne's production worship. Just put that like right across my head. And this is what's happening. So there's this great label called Black Throne's Productions. They have been releasing some of the greatest music in the Southern Ontario and Canadian music scene lately. Really great friends of mine. And the first record that I'm going to mention is Ethereal Tomb and When the Rivers Dry, that is out now on Black Throne's Productions. And these guys are doom meets hardcore meets death. They're all about, you know, the lives of Indigenous and bringing all of that back and, you know, reconciliation, you fucking name it. These guys are mean. Their lyrics are so to the heart and beautiful. You guys should really check that out. These guys are playing with Fugitive. You know, that's pretty crazy. And they got some big tour announcements coming up soon too. Fugitive members of Power Trip. You know, pretty crazy. These guys are playing with them. Check out Ethereal Tomb. And then up next, I love split records. I think split records between bands are very cool, and I think it really brings two sort of sounds and communities together. This one also on Black Thrones. It is out now. It's the Earth Altar and Sun Below split called Inner Terra Solis. And this is really cool. I found the first half of this record is very meditative. It's all instrumental. And then the second half is very doom, you know, like sort of on the cusp between doom and doom metal. But we will not get into the whole doom and doom metal thing because that is a long video. This record is great. I really think you should check it out. The whole artwork and the packaging to this record is phenomenal. And it is definitely going to be on a lot of people's end of year lists. It's already on a lot of people's lists. And I know everybody who I've talked to has been loving this split. And expect more splits. I think splits are really cool. I love seeing bands from different places in Canada or even in the world working together. And this just, you know, it sort of comes full circle and makes me very happy. And then last but not least, coming out September 29th, also on Black Throne, it is Novodol and their album Denaturing. And what's really cool about this, it's like people from the punk scene, a guitarist from Ox, and I could be missing a couple others, but it seems like a sort of super group between scenes, and they've created this stoner doom band called Novodol. And that's all you're getting because their single's coming out soon, and you guys need to check that out. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Connor from Fuzzed and Buzzed. We got a big sale coming on soon. Check out our website, you know, buy some of our stuff to make room for more records. yeah, fuzzandbuzz.com, Banger Films, at Instagram. Check us out on Patreon. Smile. Have a great day. Yeah, I got a haircut. Yeah, my beard's shorter. Yeah, I'm the same guy. Cheers.